This is Lesson 5, Algorithmic Regulation in Cryptocurrency. In this lesson, we'll be taking a look at why the regulation of cryptocurrency is an inherent feature that's derived from the technical makeup of the architecture of its source code. Let's begin. Our argument is that cryptocurrencies are already regulated by the architecture of the system's design, and one of the regulating functions of this system is the algorithm which automatically adjusts the mining difficulty of the Bitcoin network so that every 10 minutes on average a new block of Bitcoin is mined. This algorithm represents a source of crude AI which intelligently adjusts the consumption index of the Bitcoin mining difficulty so that 10 minutes is the standard where new blocks are mined. Furthermore, the blockchain represents a sort of digital constitution in that it describes various factors and various targets that the protocol carries out and cannot be deviated from and cannot be cheated in any way. For example, one of the constitutional imperatives of the blockchain is that the amount of currency that will ever be in circulation is set in stone at 21 million. As well, the supply schedule of new Bitcoin is completely known and transparent through the architecture of its source code. We know how many Bitcoin will be issued and how that will affect the scarcity of the supply schedule of Bitcoin. And because of this, the blockchain represents a sort of digital constitution that can only be altered using a hard fork in the source code when the consensus of the miners is reached. Now, when we talk about traditional currencies, we understand that they're backed by the governing authorities' issuance power and the trust in the government. And previously to this, most national currencies were backed by a gold standard. But when it comes to Bitcoin, what is it backed by? And we will argue that Bitcoin is backed by time itself. And it is backed by this regulatory algorithm we were just describing, where it intelligently adjusts the mining consumption index to an average of 10 minutes per new block. And this is very unique because it is unlike any other system in that it has a universal constant, such as time itself, which acts as the backing of the system of Bitcoin. This mathematical guarantee, formulated by a crude form of artificial intelligence, is the backing of a system which boasts remarkable intrinsic value, and it is regulated by a universal constant unlike any purely biological system which has come before it, time itself. In his Code 2.0 manifesto, Lawrence Lessig described law as a multiplicity of factors, regulation being just one among many. Other factors include the free market, social norms, and architecture. In the Bitcoin economy, the architecture is the source code, and therefore the source code of the Bitcoin protocol acts as code as law. The protocol of Bitcoin cannot be cheated because it is entirely transparent in the makeup of its design and the blockchain's constitutional imperatives, which describe the monetary policy and the functioning of the system as a whole. Bitcoin is code as law, and its functionality cannot be manipulated or cheated in the traditional sense. This brings us to the conclusion of our lesson today on the algorithmic regulation of cryptocurrencies. And in order to fully understand this shift in paradigm of regulation and even law, as a constitutional system and an intelligently adjusting regulatory algorithm, we encourage you to read our analysis into why Bitcoin may be backed by time itself. And you can find this article at diginomics.com/Bitcoin is backed by time itself. That's all for today. We'll see you in the next lesson.